The piano, by far one of the most important classroom necessities. With the aid of the piano, the teacher can distribute what key we're in, which notes to sing, and use broken tonic chords and other scales as a series of warm-ups for the classroom. It's important to have pianists as well. They will be able to play the piece however you want it performed, having benefits like a changing tempo or notes if needed, allowing you, the teacher, to lead. As a director, while you will be using the piano to warm up and sing, your main focus needs to be directly in front of the choir so that you may see their progress, catch their mistakes, and they can focus on all of your musicality.
Individual chairs. Students need individual chairs because it allows them to have their own assigned space. By having individual chairs, students are also more focused because if students just sit in risers, they are more likely to sit with their friends and not in their assigned spot. Like this, teachers are able to assign seating, and like this, students will not be sitting next to their best friends, which can tempt them to talk to one another and not pay attention to the lesson.
Risers are one of the most important necessities for a choral classroom. Risers are used for daily rehearsals and for concerts. They allow for students to be able to stand in rows on different levels and still be able to see the conductor at all times. In the classroom, it is ideal to have risers that are deep enough to fit chairs on so that each student has their individual space. However, concert risers are always standing risers and the need for extra chair space is unnecessary.
Posters are a great way to motivate students. Posters add color to the room and give the room a more exciting kick to it. Students are most likely to want to come into a fun and colorful room rather than an all-white four-wall room. It is also a good activity for the students. Teacher can separate students in their voice groups, like sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses, and have each voice group make a poster about their section. It also makes them feel part of a team, and it allows them to express their creativity. Folder slots. Folder slots are needed to make sure that all students receive their sheet music. Teachers can put music in each student's folder slot, and students can check their folder slots every day to see if there is new music in them. This makes the teacher's job a bit easier, and it also eliminates the extra time it takes to pass out music to each individual student personally. It also helps keep music organized, and it allows students to keep track of their music better.
Projectors are important tools in the classroom due to their ability to provide visual examples for the students in the class. In a music history class, a choir rehearsal, band rehearsal, drama rehearsal, any of these, projectors can be used to show live examples to the students. Being able to show these examples to the students provides visual and audible goals that the students can work towards.
Dry erase boards are important for a number of reasons. Stats, counting rhythms, using solfege, the importance of having a board is beyond crucial and almost endless. With the use of the board, one can elaborate on topics that the students are facing. Sometimes it takes more than just verbally describing a phase or counting out the rhythm. Drawing out, for instance, a dotted quarter note pattern or drawing a connecting phrase will give them the visual aid they need to perform the piece effectively. The dry erase board also allows the teacher to mark a change in music so that everyone can see if something has been changed for the sake of the choir.
Music stands are needed for any conductor, whether in a choir, a band, or an orchestra. A conductor is constantly in motion and using their hands to direct the choir or the ensemble, so holding music is not an option. The conductor needs a music stand that raises high enough for them to be able to see the music while still being elevated above the choir and free to use their hands to conduct the ensemble.
Individual sheet music. Having individual sheet music for each student is very important because of various reasons. Having to share music can be uncomfortable for students and can also be very distracting. Students also need to write notes with pencil in their music, and notes may vary from student to student depending on their learning style. When in concert, it looks more professional if each student has their own music and is not sharing with someone next to them.
Every choral or instrumental classroom at secondary level needs to have practice rooms. Practice rooms are important for sectional rehearsals and for individual practice. The size of a practice room is also very important. Practice rooms need to be large enough to fit an entire section of the ensemble into the room for rehearsal, including instruments. At different times during a rehearsal, students may be sent off to the practice rooms to rehearse their own parts. So practice rooms are needed to allow for optimal rehearsal efficiency. It is of vital importance to have a music library for every choral classroom. Music needs to be cataloged, numbered, and stored separately and away from any of the student's space. Students do not need to have access to the music library under any circumstances. Allowing students access to the music library would only cause disorganization and damage to the hard copies of purchased music. Music budgets are one of the biggest struggles that choral directors find. Music is incredibly expensive, so it is important that it lasts a very long time. In the library, there needs to be a computer and coordinating computer software, sliding storage shelves, storage containers, and labels. As the music comes in, it needs to be stamped, cataloged, and numbered. Before the music is shelved, the music must be entered into the computer with the following information: composer, arranger, title, arrangement, and status, checked out or on the shelf. In a choral library, there could be literally thousands of copies of music, so organization is key.
The private office. When it comes to fundraisers, student portfolios, or just a place to contact people for whatever school-related reasons, the private office is the perfect thing to have. Students saving up money for a school trip will need a place to put the earnings that they received. With access to the private office, you will be able to keep the fundraiser money safe and secure. What if a concerned parent drops by to talk about a child's progress during the semester? Or you are planned to send out a mass email discussing the end of the year choir banquet to students or parents. This room is designed perfectly for the teacher in mind to keep important documentation and information safe and always ready for access.
Though in a real-life situation, a classroom may not have all of the ideal tools desired to conduct a choral class, this video discusses the tools one should have if the budget provides. Some of the items listed are non-negotiable items for the class to even function, such as the piano, risers, sheet music, dry erase board, and folder slots. These items are necessities for every functioning choral classroom. The other mentioned items are worth the investment due to the payoff of the management of the classroom in the long run. All in all, classroom management may be altered by the items in the classroom, the layout of the classroom, and many others, but the most important factor of classroom management is the teacher's ability to gain respect and maintain control and order.